This is my friend Ponce, and we've been internet friends for 2 years. He actually slid into my DMs, and when we finally met in person, it was like I'd known this guy for my entire life. Every year, I'd make a trip out to New York City to see him. In this time, we became obsessed with Yes Theory. When I first quit my job to start making videos, he bought me the Seek Discomfort sweater. It was one of my favorite sweaters until I ate Chinese food and got oil all over it. Now it won't come off. Ponce works in healthcare. His parents probably love him for that reason, but he doesn't know if it actually makes him happy. I took the leap to start traveling the world, but his parents value a stable 401k. Yes Theory was premiering their new documentary, so I DM'd Amar hoping for tickets, not really thinking anything of it, but he actually put our name on the list. So I flew back to New York to surprise Ponce. I actually met this lovely German gal on the plane, and I was thinking of inviting her instead. This is my new friend.
Hi there.
What is your name?
Mona.
You know those movies where the main character happens to brush up on a sexy stranger at the airport, and that's the start to their super romantic love story? I've been on Tinder 7 years. Haven't had much luck in dating. It's tough when you're short and everyone calls you a nice guy. I don't want to be a nice guy. I want to be sexy, like a tiger. Rawr. The other day, I was at the Berlin airport when I sat down next to this beautiful gal at Move and Pick Cafe. I conveniently had 2 sandwiches and I was going to offer her one. Before I could, she asked me if I knew where the nearest smoke room was. To be honest, I didn't think I'd ever see her again, but I did sit next to this other group of German people on the plane. When we're talking about German things like Schnitzel, Oktoberfest, the Aryan Race. However, on my layover to Iceland, I happened to be walking right next to the same blonde girl I met in Berlin. We are rushing on the way to New York. This is my new friend.
There.
Say, what is your name?
Mona.
Mona.
What's your name?
Philip.
Hi.
Alright, do you want to hang out in New York?
Yeah, I have to go to D.
I am also going to D.
Okay, yeah.
D32.
For real, we can actually.
Alright, what's your Instagram? Mona texted me that night and I agreed to be her official tour guide to New York. Mona's actually from Germany and was taking a train all the way from Virginia to New York to see me, which made me pretty nervous. I don't really go on fancy dinner dates often because I live in a car. Normally it's just me and Jill. She said that if I took off my shirt, she'd take off her shirt.
I'm still finding it.
It was Mona's first time in New York, so I wanted to make sure it was perfect. I have no idea why I decided to dress up like a freaking rice farmer. My friend Nick is a dating expert here.
You got any advice for me? Tell her about how big your dick is.
That'll be a tough lie.
Tell him about the 2-incher and see what happens.
The 2-inch Punisher. Rate my date fit.
I love it, man. Gotta have balls to wear that. I love it. It's good.
That's because I'm just such a working man.
You're so blue collar. Also, I think it's very you, so if she doesn't like it, she wasn't gonna like you anyway.
Nick's advice was really just to be yourself. There's no point in playing a character because I want her to like me for me.
Let's go.
I made a reservation for an omakase restaurant, which is basically like fancy sushi that doesn't come on a conveyor belt.
Tasty. Wanna go there again?
We got along at dinner, so I invited her onto a rooftop in New York City, which ended up leading into one of the most awkward moments of my life. Why did you decide to go on this date?
A date? Is it a date?
I can't illustrate how much I wanted to yeet myself off that rooftop, but I'm very glad I didn't. I mean, hang out.
Because you're fun and interesting, I wanted to know more about you.
Mona and I decided to hang out the next day. I had this entire itinerary planned out of all these iconic things to see in New York City. And we only did one thing. We ended up being goofballs jumping around the Brooklyn Bridge for hours. We had a small dance competition at the Brooklyn Bridge. I tried the WAP dance. Hanging out with Mona was super cool because I haven't had anyone match my energy like that in a long time.
I just does not feel safe. Should I jump?
Not on my watch, baby girl. Not too bad, right? Oh wait, this is actually sick. And it's not that dangerous. I'm actually surprised you did it. By the end of the day, our time was up and she had to fly back to Berlin. No problem. Such a gentleman. I'm the wrong car? After completing my side quest with Mona, Ponce and I went to the Yes Theory premiere. It was one of the best movies I've ever seen. And I even got a photo with my hero. Afterwards, Ponce and I were having one of those late night talks. He mentioned he wanted to quit his job. Fast forward a few months later, he is actually quitting his job and bought a flight to Thailand. I'm currently in South Africa, so I decided I'm going to fly to Thailand to surprise him. My friends just told me something that blew my mind.
There's a stereotype in South Africa.
Black people and have Vaseline on them. Like, I have it in my bag.
Do you have Vaseline right
Do I have Vaseline? Of course I have Vaseline right now.
This is the airport. All right, guys, we're saying goodbye to my friends in Cape Town. I know they're gonna be missing me so much.
You became like the center of our...
Living in South Africa was one of the craziest experiences I've ever had.
Boobs on my face! Oh my god, how are you this tall?
Why are you complaining?
Last month, I found a random lady on Facebook Marketplace and offered her $1,000 to move into her apartment in Cape Town. To be honest, I was half expecting this woman to scam me. I have one goal in South Africa. It is to make one friend. The first week I spent alone. Cooked alone, alone, ate alone, went to the gym alone, which kind of sucks because I got a 2-bedroom with an open space so that I could host people. I decided to go to a club to make friends. Clubbing always feels kind of weird since I don't drink alcohol now, but I somehow got the courage to dance like a buffoon for 4 hours, and that's when a girl came up to me and asked for my number. She introduced me to her entire friend group. I thought to myself, best way to become friends with people is a pregame, which unfortunately didn't go so well.
Out of my house! Philip, I'm out of here.
In South Africa, there's not enough electricity, so for 8 hours a day, you can't charge anything. There's no lights, and unfortunately, friends of friends that came started breaking things in my apartment, which weren't even my things. Even after the pregame, everyone still texted me and asked me to hang out every other day, which was so different than my old friends where I felt like I always had to make the plans and invite them. These guys just genuinely wanted to get to know me and spend time with me. On my last day, the gang insisted on driving me to the airport, and I couldn't help but smile, thinking about how these strangers did everything they could to make South Africa feel like home. It seems like anytime anything good happens in my life, I always leave. Perhaps it's this idea of overstaying my welcome. I think it's rooted in this belief that no one will truly love me long term, but I truly also want to surprise my best friend and go back to Asia. I don't know, I just think this is my subconscious talking. Before arriving in Thailand, I had a layover in Ethiopia, and that's where all my problems started. Because when coming to Thailand from South Africa, you do not need a yellow fever vaccine. However, flying from Ethiopia to Thailand, they won't let you in without a vax. I for sure thought I was gonna get deported. I was sweating, and I had wasted all this money, all this time to try to surprise my friend. After 30 minutes of explaining to the Thai authorities I don't have yellow fever, I'm just a K-pop stan, they finally let me through. I found out Ponce was staying at Mike's guest room. So I asked Mike to pick me up from the airport and help me with the surprise.
Holy shit, you have a car?
I feel like I have my own personal Uber right now. Did you get this car from the girl you're dating?
Yeah.
You're 20? How old is Mike?
26. So what's the plan?
The plan is before Ponce arrives, I'll post an IG story to fool him that I'm in Japan. Then I'll procure balloons, poppers, and a cake to surprise him.
Oh, Jesus!
Mike loaned me one of his bikes, and I may or may not have a motorbike license, but I took to the roads anyways. I feel like I should be fine because I'm Vietnamese, and Vietnam is basically 99% motorbikes.
Oh shit, this is my bike. Fuck. Wait. Oh, that's my bike.
Finding a party store was pretty difficult, so I just drove around looking for balloons, found this cute shop and got the balloons and poppers. Then Mike and I drove all around looking for a bakery that does cake.
We're gonna try one more market.
They don't usually have pre-made massive cakes that you can buy anywhere, which is probably why Americans are so fat. We ended up finding a cake store at the end that was a little bit sus.
No way.
Bro, this one says Durex.
Let's go! Wait for a second and then I'm gonna get back with my camera.
From this angle, it looks like you're masturbating.
So the plan is that I'm gonna hide in Mike's guest room with balloons and a cake.
Yeah, so I quit my job 5 days ago.
How long have you been in that job for?
For 6 years. October that I realized I actually watched the movie with Phil. Yeah, the guy
He's still in
Japan right now, and I'm gonna see him at the end of my trip.
So we're gonna do like your first reaction. Because you've never lived outside of US, right?
No.
Come on in.
Whoa! This is great.
I think the toilet's the best part.
You are so great.
Were you ever in Japan? No. You actually surprised me. You're such a good friend to me, man.
This place is freaking packed.
I'm excited, bro. First meal outside of America.
This is like one of the best khao sois in Chiang Mai.
This khao soi place is only $1.30 and it's Michelin bibbed, meaning it's the best value for your money. And the only thing Asian people love more than good food is a better deal.
This man just had an orgasm in his mouth.
So good, dude.
Today is our first time riding a motorbike together in Thailand. What could possibly go wrong?
We saw an archery range earlier. Hopefully they let us join them.
This is Pooh, and you can think of him as the Genghis Khan of the guild. To join this legion of archers, we knew we had to bribe them somehow, so we drove back to our apartment to get a cake as a peace offering. This made Pooh so happy, he decided to instruct us personally.
For the first, if you're going to shoot, you have to stand between the lines. Yeah. Shoot, do not place it on the floor.
Oh, I hear it.
If you can just pull it until your mouth, pull yellow and shoot. It is draw it until your mouth and the yellow and shoot.
My friend Chantel once told me that shooting an arrow has a similar feeling to having sex. And I know this sounds freaking ridiculous, but my first shot left me inexplicably aroused.
Yeah! Bro, you were like semi-hard during that archery lesson.
Literally have no idea how hard it is to shoot an arrow. Half chub. How has your first day in Thailand been?
It has been an absolute banger of a day, man. This is exactly the type of stuff I wanted to do, and I figured it would just like take me a while to get the ball rolling, but like this has been the best possible start ever. The way you approach people, like the way like, you know, people just smile when you're dancing, it gives me kind of like, you know, courage to do the same, because that's what I've always wanted to do. And
Well, here in Thailand of all places, who knew we'd make it this far?
and it's crazy to think that like I never had an interest in traveling until I met you.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
I had no idea.
Because like I think I was your typical American where I was satisfied. I was like, oh, I have all I need here.
There is some sort of beauty in that though, like feeling satisfied with less.
Was I really satisfied though? Like maybe I just didn't know like what was in store.
Mother fricker, these mosquitoes, get off me!
You're a snack, man. That's why.
We're in Chiang Mai! Yep! Let's go! Skip a rock.
Okay. Some big ass rocks, man.
These would be hard to cross. Brake at the same time, hit this, and then you need to put some gas in at the same time. Once you start moving, get off.
Yeah. Do I hold on to you? It's
hold on to
really
the back.
romantic.
How the hell did you crash the motorbike?
There was this wedding happening to my right, and I wanted to take a look. Next thing I know, my motorbike is set flying over this ditch and into this rice field.
What the hell happened after you crashed?
So the bride and groom ended up giving me free food, drinks, and a karaoke mic to sing Justin Bieber with them.
It's actually not that bad.
Not bad at all.
The next day, Ponce and I were motorbiking in the mountain where we found this staircase that seemingly leads to nothing. We were in the middle of nowhere, 2 hours from any major city, and staircases in the middle of nowhere always seem to be demonic. But with the bulletproof confidence of a frat bro about to shotgun 5 claws, we decided to check it out.
Oh my gosh, I trust you.
Yeah, I've been doing this for 3 days. In this moment, we are infinite! I realized I have too much faith in Thai engineering because every single step I took on this staircase, it started shaking. Finally, I reached the top and saw a small net underneath us, which was kind of a letdown, but that's where the real adventure began.
Dude, we're gonna flip over. This is a steep ass mountain.
Ponce and I spent too much time at the staircase and had to motorbike down this mountain in the middle of the night.
I trust you.
You shouldn't. What is that?
Are you even using any gas?
I'm braking.
We were going so
I don't know if I can stop.
fast.
We were going way too fast, so we stopped at what ended up being a barbecue restaurant, which was all you can eat for only $6. We said hi to the Chinese family next to us and filled our bellies with delicious meat, which is probably even more of a mistake because it began to pour.
It's raining very intensely. How are we gonna get home?
I'd never seen it get this wet since I'm a virgin, with nowhere to stay and no hope.
The only way is if we ask the locals if we can stay at their house.
That's when the Chinese family that was eating next to us returned and offered us to crash at their remote cabin. Accepting an invitation to stay in a secluded cabin during a rainstorm sounds like a crazy adventure or the start of a horror movie. But if you know anything about Vietnamese men, our stereotype is drinking too much Heineken and gambling. I hate gambling with money. I don't even like individual stocks, but I'm more of a do it for the story type of gambler. Oh my god.
They're traveling differently than ours.
This is Ethan, and he invited us to stay with his family. He's from China, works at Netflix, and he's a family man. This was the nicest cabin I've ever been to. Their youngest daughter, Maxine, gave us a tour.
Oh, dead bugs.
At the time, I thought they wanted to Netflix and chill with us. What I didn't realize was Ethan and his wife were actually Netflix editors for documentaries in China. We spent the entire night observing their work and getting behind-the-scenes looks at how these movies are created.
The garden.
You can eat it?
Several.
It's one thing to open your home to strangers, but to open your home to strangers when you have a child.
And yeah, the daughter, dude, it restores like, you know, my faith in humanity.
Before we said goodbye, we asked Ethan why he invited us into his home. 2 random strangers in the same close space as his wife and daughter. Ethan responded,
There's no place you can go. I can't leave you there.
Hi guys, we have to bike home in this, so wish us luck, because this is going to be brutal. I haven't permed my hair in a very long time. I'm trying to go for an Asian mullet, so wish me luck, guys.
this was probably the worst haircut of my entire life. The entire time the guy kept calling me Ching Chong Lee. Normally I would say something to defend myself, but I bit my tongue because this guy had my literal physical attraction in his hands. He also kept asking me how many dogs and cats I've eaten. As an Asian guy traveling the world, no matter what country you go to, you'll get racist comments. I personally didn't think the haircut was that bad.
He didn't even use scissors. He used the razor the entire time. He just went like here.
It's full 80s mullet as well. It's like no fade in, it's just like pure mullet.
I wore a hat for the next 2 months, and one day I was staring at IG girls that I'll never have a chance with when I started to think to myself, maybe it's time for me to enter my K-pop era. I found this place that does $27 hair perms in Thailand. I showed her a picture of Jimin, he's my bias. I also couldn't communicate with this lady, so I called my friends.
Can you speak Thai to this woman?
Halfway through, I realized the rod she was using was too thin, and I didn't want to be like culturally appropriating, but it was too late, so I kind of just prayed for the best.
Whoa, it looks nice actually.
It's gnarly, right?
Yeah, man.
Holy shit.
Dude, this might be the best haircut I've ever gotten.
I look like a anime character. Best my hair has ever
you
felt.
guys-
It feels so luscious. Dude, wow.
Okay, that's so nice, so soft.
It's so, how is it so soft? Good morning, guys. So we took this from 7-Eleven last night. We got some markers from 7-Eleven. So hopefully with $1, we can get me and Ponce all the way 3 hours north to Pi. That'll save us at least like $40.
I agree.
You need 3 things to hitchhike: cardboard, pens, and a bright smile. We tried our luck on the main road. Out of all these hundreds of cars, someone has to stop and pick us up. Hour 1, we didn't have too much luck.
We've been out here for like ages now.
One of his biggest fears is confrontation, so I sent Ponce into the middle of the street to walk up to cars and solicit them for a ride.
You gotta hitchhike. No, you gotta go this way so I can see.
The cars are going this way. Stupid.
Yeah,
I
you're
want to show him that there's true kindness in the world. You just need to hold out your hand and ask.
We tried hitchhiking for the past hour and a half.
That's when we came up with the brilliant plan of going to a spot outside the city. So with our new plan set, we finally had our first car stop.
No way! Yo, go. What? Hey, stop. What happened? What happened? He was literally... That was very annoying, guys.
With the sun setting and nothing around but cows, we prayed we wouldn't have to sleep outside tonight.
You guys are willing to take us?
Along the way.
Okay.
This family pulled over and said they could drive us 1/3 of the way to Pi, and we thought that was much better than nothing. The truck stopped to pick up another hitchhiker who also headed the same direction as us. With the wind blowing through our hair, I mean, me and Ponce's hair, he told us that last year he was trying to return home to Russia to visit his grandma. But because of the war, he went to Asia to hitchhike around to avoid the draft. The first truck dropped us off on the side of the road, but we needed to find another ride fast before sunset.
Thank you so much.
I realized it would be much more difficult to hitch a ride as 3 men, so all of us began devising a plan to split up. But somehow, literally 5 minutes later,
We found another ride.
they even moved their huge cover for us so we could be more comfortable. Little did I know I'd be holding onto this cover for dear life because the roads leading up to Pi bend. Within an hour, all 3 of us became silent. In the next 2 hours, I threw up twice in my mouth, but I swallowed because the last thing I wanted to do was vomit in this poor man's truck. I know it's about the venture, but I really wish I'd just spent $20. When we finally got to Pi, we thanked our drivers. I vomited 2 more times in the bush, and Ponce began shaking uncontrollably on the ground like a fish out of
The
water.
only thing I can think is you've been eating too much ass. Did this all of a sudden happen, or were you like this when we got off the hitchhiking car?
Right off the hitchhiking car. I don't know why.
Really? I didn't notice you were shaking that much.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Shit.
We just got to our house. In the mountains of northern Thailand, they have this event called Tipsy Tubing. It's when 300 drunk tourists float down a river on a tube intoxicated. But is this excursion worth $1,000? Ponce and I both don't drink alcohol, and Ponce can't swim. But it seemed like an event that we couldn't pass up. Pi is known to be a Western hipster paradise, but in Thailand. Truthfully, I've never seen anything like it. Everyone spoke English, and it almost seemed like the main city center. More people were actually foreigners than Thai. The main street turns into a night market. Ponce has the same taste as a 5-year-old child, so I took him mostly to get desserts. They had my favorite, mango sticky rice, different mochis, and this rolled ice cream. Truth be told, we partied a lot, like almost every day, which is shocking because Ponce and I don't even drink. But we had to make an exception for Tipsy Tubing. It was like a massive logjam where everyone's drunk, but when they finally release you down the river, it's mayhem. I got separated from Ponce immediately. It's some of the most fun I've ever had, and it only cost $10. Fortunately for me, I found out my iPhone 13 Pro isn't waterproof because the screen was cracked. The entire time in Pi, I was worried Ponce wouldn't have a good time since he's introverted and has never really stayed in hostels before. But I realized I have nothing to worry about.
No way.
Today is Ponce's 25th birthday, and in Thailand, it's tradition to get your friend a sus cake. But my friend Minnie assured me
It's
that
normal in Thailand.
That's so funny. Ponce's biggest dream has always been to go on a real-life adventure, but we're broke. So for the past 7 days, we've been hitchhiking, couch surfing, and doing as many free things as we can find. It's been 2 weeks since I've showered with soap, and I'm currently washing my clothes in the sink. I planned the last day of our trip to be Ponce's birthday surprise, so I wanted to make it special.
This one has this like crazy pool.
And after the booking, we were ready for the surprise.
I booked just the nicest place I can find.
Wait, are you serious? You tricked me again.
This is what a $100 Airbnb looks like in Chiang Mai, Thailand.
Oh, dude. You can do laundry here.
You don't have to shower in the river tonight?
Yeah, we don't have to shower in the river.
Yo!
Wow. It smells nice too.
This place was insane. It had a rooftop, gym for thirst traps, sauna, and of course the infinity pool.
How was your first time outside of America?
These past 7 days have been the best of my life.
Really?
I live a pretty sad life.
Bro, that actually makes me so happy. It's pretty lonely to travel by myself, so if you ever wanted to drop out of your boot camp, I'll hire you on and we can just travel together.
Are you serious?
Oh. You guys blow really hard. Wait, the relighting. You have to blow really hard. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.